Hey guys, Corporate Carolyn here, taking a break as I close out my work day. I wanted to share something with you that I think is very, very important. If you are still looking for a husband, or if you're just starting to look for a husband and you're falling for the lie, and I do mean lie, that there are no good men left out there, especially if you're looking for a specific niche market, like say black men or whatever, and you're deluding yourself into thinking that there are no good men out there. And the reason I caution you from doing that is because you're falling prey to the same thing that a lot of people do when they look at a particular group of people. Like people from other cultural backgrounds, a lot of times they'll meet me and they'll think that I'm a unicorn. And you know, when you find somebody who's educated, who's actually smart and doing well, they assume that it's an outlier. No, it's not an outlier. It's just that you haven't had an experience with every type of black person. And so a lot of people make that mistake of thinking that what you might see on television or in the media is that's all there is. And the same way I would tell a white friend, an Indian friend, a Hispanic friend, that just because you haven't seen this type of black woman on television, that doesn't mean that we don't exist. So don't try to put us in a box based on what you see on television. So what I'm saying to you is don't try to put all black men in a box. There are good black men out there that will take care of their children, that want a wife, that will love you, that will take care of you and protect you. But you're going to have to change your focus and not just believe everything that you see on TV or that you hear your aunt, whatever, thinking of that based on her experience. Let your own experience be formed. And if you're not seeing the type of men that you would like to see, maybe you're going to the same places over and over again. So I don't want you to just be limited in your perspective that there are no good men out there, because your efforts to find one, it's self-defeating, because you're not going to thoroughly look, keep your eyes open, and be ready at all times to act if you don't really believe there's nothing out there. You just may as well give up and just say forget all about it. All right, so with that said, I think that we are being too hard on the good black men that are out there, if that's what you're looking for. And I say that because I'm hearing in the chats that I had where, I'm saying why black women should be married, why black women should stay married. And, a lot of people are coming back saying, there are no good men out there. And some rude men are saying that there are very few black women that are worth marrying. And so, like, we're saying one thing that they're not, the S word. And then, but you'd be surprised to know they're saying the same thing about us. So all of us need to take off, just the limiting blinders that we have on based on past experiences. It's a new day. You got to have a new attitude. And speaking to black women right now, I'm not speaking to the men, but for us, I think we need to stop being so hard on black men. And we need to stop saying that, all black men ain't S, because that's not true. Just like if they said all black women aren't S, that would not be true. So you can't run around saying those things. And also, I'm talking mainly to the women who are running around saying that, well, he's nice, but he's too nice. He's too corny. He's not tall enough. He needs to be at least 6 feet. He needs to be this complexion or that complexion. He doesn't make enough money. And I've heard women say, well, he only makes, like, say, maybe $50,000 a year, just to arbitrarily throw out a number. And Kevin Samuels, I thought that he was on point when he said that there's a very small percentage of people in the population that are earning over $100,000 a year. And so you're just starting off in the game and you're looking for a man who's already making that. A lot of times that doesn't come until, like a little later in a person's career. And the reason I hate it when I hear women say he's only, making 60. And not only women say that, but sometimes men say that too. Because we had a friend who he only really wants someone in IT or better because he wants someone to match his career income, and he wants to be able to obviously buy a certain type of house, and so he doesn't want a woman who's making less. He wants her to start off bringing or matching what he's bringing to the table. And I think that that's very short-sighted too. So ladies, don't think that I'm only saying that you do it, but what I hate about it is, like, say if you find somebody at a certain point in time, and I'll use myself as an example, like say back in 1997, my youngest son was a baby, so it must have been 97. So I worked for MCI as a business analyst, and I was only making $51,000, right? And then I run into this friend, and she says, well, oh yeah, I'm leaving. I'm going to go into consulting or go back into consulting. And I said, really? And she told me how much she made as a consultant. And I was like, what? And she was making, I think like $90,000 a year or something. And my eyes like literally popped out of my head like, like I was a cartoon character or something. And so I said, what? And then so I got her to tell me, some of the contracting firms that she dealt with. And then so I said, well, maybe I'll go into contracting or consulting, seeing as how MCI was getting ready to merge with WorldCom, and things were kind of tense, and I had never been laid off before, and I didn't want to be laid off. And so next thing you know, after a few strategic moves, I went from 51 to I believe 76 in less than a year and a half, if I'm not mistaken. And then it continued to progress. So like imagine if a certain person were looking at me saying, oh, well, she only makes, you don't know what that person is going to make a year from now. You don't know what they're going to be making 2 years from now. And then you've ruled them out because you don't think they make enough money. Well, I'm here to tell you, as a person who's been married for over 32 years, you guys just bring something to the table, whatever it may be. It might be 25, it might be 30, it might be 50. I don't know. But if you both bring what you have to the table, marriage is a partnership, and that's where people bring the little acorns that they have, and they build together. They create something. When you put your little bit with another person's little bit, then all of a sudden you can afford more. You start off with a starter house. You start building some equity. You might buy a rental property and start, renting it out, and that's adding, passive income. And the next thing you know, 10 years from now, you might have accumulated $100,000 worth of equity, and, it's building to your building your net worth. And so women are shooting themselves in the foot by saying he only earns, or he's only doing. You don't know if he's going to get his master's, just like he doesn't know if you're going to go get your master's. But what you want to do is find somebody that you can build something with, and stop saying that, he's corny. I like corny. My husband is corny. Corny men, love you for you and love you unconditionally, or at least some of them do. All people don't do anything, but they come home at night. They take care of their kids. They help you and keep you from going crazy. They have a good time with you. They're making their little corny, goofy jokes. My husband and I, we laugh at some of the corniest stuff that you can imagine, but that's what we like. You need to find somebody who likes what you like, and don't put them in a box based on things that are subject to change. He might have 5 pounds, extra, but you don't know. You guys might start walking together and he might lose the weight. I wish men would give us the same grace, because they're very visual, and we probably need to start working on ourselves beforehand, in order for them to even take a second look a lot of times, because they are visual creatures. They can't help it, but they're looking at what you got going on. So for you definitely want to try to get your act together before you start looking, or at least to the best of your ability. But I just think that we're really hard on a brother, and I think that we should stop it, because height is definitely not something that, should rule a man out. And then also a lot of women are running around talking about the size of their, that's like them talking about the size of our butts. And I think that's probably why they're so hard on us, talking about, well, yeah, your butt's not big enough, your boobs aren't big enough. And I'm so thankful that my husband didn't fall into that category. But like ruling out a man because of the size of his I mean, that size of the doesn't pay any bills. It doesn't take care of any kids. And if you're creative enough, and if you're willing to work with someone, there are all sorts of ways around that if that's a situation that you have. But so many women are choosing the D and choosing the size of the D, and then they're winding up with dogs, doofuses, and no do-gooder type men. So you gotta stop doing that and like sleeping with people so quickly, and then basing your decisions on sex, and giving your children fathers that really haven't been vetted to see if they're good father material. So we're really shooting ourselves in the foot, and I just want us to take a moment and think more carefully and more clearly on the fathers that we're picking and on the husbands that we're picking and the people that we decide to spend our time on. Because if you will select carefully and put the time in and build something with a man, I rode around for at least a year with my hands up like this because the upholstery in the top of my husband's car used to rest down on my hair, and I didn't want it to mess up my hair. And I don't even think he had heat either, but he has heat now, and I don't have to ride around like this now. And there were times when we used to put our money together to just go to not Martha's Vineyard, but to Myrtle Beach. But now that joker can take me to Martha's Vineyard when I want to, and he can take me to Hawaii. But I had to build, and I couldn't rule him out before he reached his full potential. So please hear me. Sorry to talk so long. I'm such a talker. But anyway, hopefully that helps somebody out there, and I can't wait to have the dialogue with you guys to discuss this more. This is real deal stuff. This is real talk that you need to hear, and hopefully we can move forward and help you find your Mr. Right in the very near future. But until then, your girl has to get back to work. Talk to you soon. Bye.